Hi, it's Sly. I wanted to share something with you. There's a web page that's called Titan Mafia Users Group. Titan Mafia is a group of people who have put together some tools. In fact, Razor, Bat Daddy, has put together some tools on this web page that will help you tremendously with empires and puzzles. I know because it's helped me tremendously. I've grown a lot since I started using these tools. One of them, Hero Tracker, is what I want to show you today. You'll have to put in an inventory of all of your heroes, but it will help you keep track of what level they're at, and then you can put together teams and look at how you're going to use emblems on them and do the class node BOM, the BOM, bill of materials, and see what that looks like for each hero that you have. And then the next step will be War Tracker, where you can keep track of how your heroes perform against different teams. And that will help you adjust your war strategies as you go along. So, I mean, there's a lot to it. And like I said, I know it will help you because it's helped me. The big thing is it's free. There is no charge. The only thing he asks is that once a month you go and do 5 collection tasks of the heroes that are in the global community. The top 7 to 28, I think, is what he's focusing on these days. And then he collects all that data and shows us what the top people in the world are using for their heroes and in which positions and what percentage of the time this hero appears there and all that. So if you'll do those, which cost you nothing to do other than a little time, then you'll find that these tools are going to help you tremendously in your game. It takes you to the next level. So let me show you what it looks like. Let's take a look over here. All right, over here on the desktop, I've got my game over on the left-hand side, and on my right-hand side, I've got my Google Chrome up. And I've already got a bookmark for the Titan Mafia website, so I'm going to click on that. But it's real easy. It's just titanmafia.com, and it brings up this screen. And if you're not a member yet, you can click on this Join Us button down here and join, and it's totally free. If you don't want to join, you still got a lot in here. I'm going to scroll down a little bit. You can see that Razor has a lot of information here for you, a lot of content that you can go through. All of these are links that you can go look at and peruse. You can spend days just on this home page gathering information on heroes and alliances and the game itself. Now I'm going to go ahead and log in, and it's going to present the login panel, and when it does, I'm going to click on login because it remembers my password, and then you get this page right here. And all I'm going to do over on this page is come up to this Guildware link right here, and I'm going to click on that and select Open. And it's going to take me to this page, which is the Hero Editor. Now, the Hero Editor is the thing I want to talk to you about today. This is a place where you will enter in your entire hero inventory. And as you can see, I've got a lot of heroes in here already from mine. And it's a little bit outdated. In fact, over here on the game, I'm going to click on Heroes and bring up my hero list. There are things that just are wrong. For example, I've got a Gormek here that I've actually since then used as food. So I'm going to click on this X and get rid of him. And he's going to say, hey, are you sure you want to get rid of that? And yeah, I do, because it is long gone. And there are other things that might be incorrect, like perhaps I've got the wrong number of emblems on somebody or the wrong level for a particular hero. For example, if I get down here into the greens, that Telluria is 338, the third one, this one right here. And so I slide down here, and I've got her at 329. So I click on that hero, and I got to change that to 338. So now, and hit save. That's one aspect, just updating my heroes as I go along and as I level them. Now there's another nice little thing. You'll notice these two up here, Grimble and Marie-Therese, are not in alphabetical order. The reason for that is because they contain notes. You notice the 3 dots there that are not here on these others. That's because I've put a note in there. I'm going to click on Grimble, and I've got a question. Do I want to ascend him, or do I want to ascend Marie-Therese? So that's why I have them sitting up at the top. And the sad fact is that really I don't think I'm going to do either of them. I think I'm going to wait until I get Clarissa leveled up. So I'm going to put something in here and level and max her. And I'm going to save that, and that's going to put her in there. So I'm going to start leveling her, and I'm going to max her. The reason I'm not going to do Marie-Therese is really simple. Let me scroll back up here to my purples, and I'm going to select Marie-Therese so you can see what she looks like. Where is she? There she is. And the problem with Marie-Therese is she's a slow mana hero. And slow mana heroes are slow. And because she's slow, she's really not going to work for me. So this is probably as far as she's ever going to get, is at 370. Now, I could do Grimble. He's at least average speed, but he just doesn't do enough. I like some of the aspects of what he does, but Clarissa, I am told, is probably a better choice. So I'm going to level her up, and we'll see what she does. But for now, I'm going to take Marie-Therese out of the running, and instead of taking her to max, I'm going to backspace out of that and save that without any data in that note. And whoops, well, I must have something. There we go. Save that, and now she will go away from this top up here. So what you'll do if you want to add a hero, let's say, for example, let's go down here somewhere and find somebody that I don't have added in here that I really don't want to have added in here. But all right, here's Stonecleave. I don't think I have Stonecleave in here. Let's scroll down to the S's, and I'll go from Sonia to Sumitomo. So I don't have Stonecleave in here. So I'm going to do an add, and please enter the hero. That's what happens if you hit add before you put anything in here. Click on that. I'm going to start typing his name in, Stonecleave. There we go. Now tab over to the Ascension level, and he's 1, and no class yet. And click add, and he's added to my database now. In fact, if I scroll down there now, you'll see Stonecleave is down here at a 1-1. So that's the way you add one. The way you change one, if you have new information on one, is you find them in the list, and then you just click on them. For example, I've got a 480 Marjana right up here. Here she is. But I've got another Marjana I've worked on a little bit, and she's at level 150. But over here, I've just got her at 1-1. So I'm going to click on her, and I'm going to change this to 50. And I'm going to click Save. And now that information is saved in there for me. Now, there are a lot of different reasons for keeping this information in here. One of them is you can set them up in teams. And it'll take them out of it'll give you the opportunity to take heroes out of your hero list and create teams. For example, here's my Defense A team. And you can look at all the information on these heroes. This information on defense and offense corresponds to the data that you get from the Wise Goat. So those are the ratings for those. And you got the power and attack and defense. All of that is here for you to look at and see exactly what they do. So you can look and see, like, for example, Vela is all enemies, and so is Telluria. She's all enemies, whereas Hell just deals damage to the target and nearby enemies, and in Kingston only does damage to the target. Nearby enemies he puts a status effect on them, and Marjana just hits the target. So I have a mixture of all enemies, all in target and nearby, just the target with some status effect on nearby, and only the target. And so I kind of like having that kind of mixture. But being able to see that all in front of me at once is a nice tool. So that's kind of how you use this guild. And another thing that I really like in here is once you've got your heroes in here, you click on this class grid, and it shows you all your heroes by class. So when you're trying to figure out what you want to do with your emblems, because you only have a limited number of emblems, if I go over to the game over here and I go into my inventory and I just look at my emblems, as a matter of fact, let's look at that. You can see I've got a lot of barbarian emblems. I've got 1,010, but I don't have any barbarians I really want to give them to. The only 5 stars I have are Aslar and Mickey. And I really don't want to give them emblems. So I'm kind of holding on to those emblems and hope that at some point I get Gravemaker or Cage Barado, and I can give them all these emblems. And the same thing's kind of true if you look here at the Monk. I've got 694 Monk emblems, And Leonidas and Marie Therese are my only monks. Really, the Santa Claus, I guess I could, if I could max him out, take him up to level 4, then I could give him some monk emblems. But that helps a lot when you can see what heroes you have in which class. Paladin, for example, is an interesting class because it's got Telluria, and it also has Clarissa in it. So Clarissa, if I take her all the way to max, she's probably not going to get any emblems because I'm going to be giving all these emblems to my 4 Tellurias for a long time to come. So that class grid helps a lot. And there's an emblem planning report. If I go to the emblem planning report, you can put in your emblems, how many emblems you have of each type. So, for example, on Paladin, if you look over to the left, it says I have 30 Paladin emblems. So I hit 30, tab down to Sorcerer, and it says I have 385 Sorcerer emblems. Monk emblems, I had 694. And Druid emblems, I've got 142. And Rogue, I've got, where's my Rogue? Boy, it'd be nice if they put these in... they did put them in alphabetical order, so you can just look at it alphabetically. And 85, I'll talk to Razor and get him to put these in alphabetical order. Then it'll make it a lot easier to do. Wizard is 254, and Barbarian was 1010, and Ranger is 62, and Fighter is 50. And so then and you can also do your mats if you want to. I'm just going to do my emblems. I'm not going to go through all my materials, but you can put your materials in there too. And then it'll show you what you can do with them. Emblem planning report. Look at that. It'll show you who all's ready to eat some emblems and what it's going to cost you to do that and what it will do for them, what you'll gain from doing a reset on ones that already have emblems. It's just a nice tool. I'm not going to go through all that because really what I wanted to show you was the hero list. So let's go back over to the hero list. And there we are. Put all your heroes in here and it will help you keep track of where you have them. With the class grid, you can see, what kind of classes you have. You can also, has an element grid. It'll show you by element what heroes you have. And that works in with the war tracker. Just give you a quick peek at war tracker. As you do a war, you can keep track of your battles and see what you did. I did had a good kill. I had a failed kill here with this one. And I took these heroes against these, Caedmon, Danzaburl, Richard, Gormek, and Sabina. And for some reason, I still lost. And it says the reason is because I had a bad set of tiles. And that's data that you put in. So the war tracker is another good thing that will help you keep track of how your heroes are performing in losses and wins. How many times do I win using Ranvir? Wins with Ranvir, I don't see any, but I have 9 losses with Ranvir. So guess what? I've stopped using Ranvir in my wars. It gives you some interesting data. And so that's another tool that you can play with, and he has all kinds of tutorials on how to do this. And if you have any questions, you can ask me. I'm going to post this probably in the landing and in at least in the deck swabbers. And so that's how it goes, and I hope you found that useful. It has helped me tremendously, like I've said several times. And so I'm sure you will find it useful, and you can play around and dig through there and see what all it's got. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me. I'm going to put this in the Pirate Ship YouTube page and then put a link in the deck swabbers. You can ask me there or PM me, however you want to do it. I know that if you will take the time and invest in this, it's really going to take your game to the next level. So with that, I'm going to bid you battle boldly, and may the boards be with you.